Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Good morning, New Orleans. I'm your host, Ryan Richardson, and welcome to another great show. Today we have a very, very special topic that we're going to talk about. This is a little bit out of my league, but we're going to handle it anyway. It's about a mother and son, and the mother has been fighting for her son's freedom for a little over 25 years, and I would like to welcome Miss Alma Grigsby and my trusty sidekick always popping in on me, Miss Simone Hickenbottom. How you ladies doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Miss Grigsby, I want you to introduce yourself and tell my listening audience.
My name is Alma Grigsby. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'm here on behalf of my son Frederick Grigsby.
Mm-hmm.
I want to speak on his case that has been lingering for the last 21 years.
21 years, I stand
And
correct.
so I'm going to let his fiance introduce herself as well.
Okay. Well, let me turn on her microphone. All right, try it now.
Good morning. My name is Vanetta Lacey, and I am the fiance of Frederick Grigsby.
All right, so Miss Grigsby, I want you to, give us the details surrounding the case and everything that happened on that particular night, if you don't mind.
Okay. It happened year 2004.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was in March of 2004. My son had gone out with a group of individuals who were much older than he was. They were supposedly had gone to a party at.
Come into the mic a little bit.
They were supposedly had gone to a party,
Yeah.
and at the party, a couple fights broke out, to my knowledge, and the guys who he was with decided, hey, it was time. They were leaving to go outside to get in the vehicle to leave because of the fights. The police shut it down. So they were leaving, and his thing, he had rode with someone else, and that person had went off and left him. So that means he had no other choice but to get in that vehicle with these young men. So on the way going to bring him home, it was a detour, and they went down another street. Well, first before that, I'm gonna back up a little bit. There was two guys. They were cousins, and they were riding in another car. So they pulled out, I guess, ahead of the crowd or whatever to try to leave to go to wherever they were going for safety or whatever. And so when the car that my son was riding in, they actually driving down the street
Dallas Drive.
on Dallas Drive, and it was the VFW house. So
And this is in Baton Rouge, correct?
in Baton Rouge,
Yes.
yes. And so they had one of the individuals in the car said in the truck that my son was riding and said, "Hey, there those people go." So the guy went. Not the driver, but the passenger in the front seat told the driver, "Hey, pull up on side of them." So when they pulled up on the side of the vehicle, the guys in the vehicle next to them actually didn't see them because they were, just driving, and they were making another detour to go back to the VFW house to pick up a friend. The victims were going back to pick up a friend that they had left. So that's how the car my son was riding in ended up meeting, them pulling up on the side of them. So as they pulled up on the side of them, the individual in the back seat, in the front seat, both had weapons and shot into the vehicle. On the right passenger in the front and the back passenger on the right. My son was a passenger on the left-hand side behind the driver. So these two individuals on the right-hand side shot into this vehicle, and they killed this young man. So the driver and the passenger in the car were actually cousins. So the victim that's living, he kind of laid down on his seat to try to steer the car, but it hit a fire hydrant. So it came to a stop. So at that time, the vehicle that my son was riding in just veered on off or what have you. So they left and met up at left and went and met the other friend at McDonald's on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. And so with that happening, the next day, which was Saturday, this was on a Friday that happened. So on that Saturday morning, I was at home because I normally work on Saturday mornings, but I was at home. So I get a call from a detective. So I'm like, why would a detective be calling me? You know, I'm at home in the bed. My son is at my mom's. So, you know, so I asked him, I said, hey, why are you you know, what's going on? He said, I'm calling for your son, Frederick Grigsby. So at that time I said, what is going on? He said, oh, I can't tell you, but I need to speak directly to him. I said, okay, and then I hang the phone up. So I made the phone call to my son at my mom's. I said, hey, I said, there's a detective that called for you. He needs you to, you know, contact him. So only word that I got from my son was, okay, mama. Mm-hmm. So he came to the house, my house first, before he went to the police department. And this is the words he told me, that he will be back. So I said, okay, I really, you know, I said, okay, but my mind was still running because I'm like, what is going on? I need to know, you know, so I'll know, you know, how to approach it, what to do. And so I was really left in limbo about it.
Of course.
So when it was came out the wash, these guys actually framed him with this murder. Mm-hmm. He had, I mean, nothing was, you know, toward him. So it was all lies. So, and when we, they actually, because he was actually living in New Orleans with his girlfriend at the time. Right. And so he was arrested in New Orleans and expedited back to Baton Rouge. So at that time, I said, okay, now I have to retain a lawyer. And I never had gone through anything like that before. So I didn't know what attorney to call, how to, you know, but before that, I know that these guys' parents were all best friends. And I knew the family of all of them. And I used to tell my son, I say, this family is no good. Don't hang with this family.
Right.
You know,
being a typical mother and expressing your concern, and letting him know, you know, look, don't do this or don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
like all moms do.
That's right.
Right.
You know, and I have all sons.
Yeah.
I have 4.
Wow.
And he's the oldest. And so, you know, I sheltered them a lot, you know, because I wanted what was best for them. Mm-hmm. You know, me being a single parent, having to raise these boys. You know, I was a tough parent. Yes, I didn't let them tell me anything. You know, I was on top of them. You know, they had a lot of people that, you know, led them, helped me with them guys. That was, you know, like different walks of life that helped me with them.
Of course.
And everything. But back to the conversation of the night of the arrest. So what happened was that family had gotten together and canted their story, what they was going to say. It was the guy who was actually driving behind them. It was him and the other 3, the driver and the passenger, are first cousins. And the passenger sitting on behind the front seat passenger on the right, they're all was best friends. So they canted their story, and those guys had already had prior charges on them. So I guess my son had no charges.
So they didn't want that on them. So they I didn't mean to cut you off, but they didn't want the charges on them because they already had existing charges. So they put it on your son.
Yes.
Right.
So, you know, when that happened, I was like, okay, you know, my son called me and he said, Mama, he said, you know, I just want to tell you, you know, I'm innocent. You know, we'll get an attorney, we'll go to court, you know, and different things. So I hired an attorney. And like I said, me not knowing who to hire, any of that, but I just hired somebody somebody gave me the person's name. So I said, okay, I'll go with them. So I went with this person, and me thinking he didn't represent him in the way that he should have been represented. He didn't call any witnesses. He didn't go out and do any nothing to you know, help my son's case. And I felt like that was a slap in the face. You spending the money for an attorney and you don't get anything good, in return. And then you in the courtroom and you allowing this DA to just tear you down, and you didn't have nothing to come back at him for, But the whole thing, they put it on my son, and that's what he ended up in prison with the life sentence plus 25 for the attempted murder.
Wow.
So what happened was, a year ago? I think it was maybe a year ago. I had seen the victim who was in the car, the living victim, and so he said, "Hey, Miss Griswold, how you doing?" He said, "I want to talk to you." And so so we made a place where we could meet and talk, and he allowed me to video it, the whole thing and everything. So I did, and he did, say, "Your son," he said, "I knew nothing about your son." He said, "I don't even know why your son is in prison." He said, "The people that should be in prison, they let them get away scot-free with this murder." And he and one of the guys had prior beef. So that's why he knew that this guy was out to kill him.
Right.
And the court didn't even listen to that. Mm-hmm. They just made their own presumption off of this one person getting on the witness stand. "Oh, I'm afraid of Fred. I'm afraid of your son, Fred, and all of this." My son was an 18-year-old kid when you was already in your 20s. So, and then this guy, the passenger in the front seat, he shot my son the year before in 2003. So I pressed the charges against him. So I guess that was, and I wouldn't drop him. So I guess that was his way of getting him back. So when they did go to court, they actually dropped those charges. Yes. And I mean, I mentally.
Yeah. And I was, that was going to be my next question. I wanted to backtrack a little bit, but you're about to answer it. As a mom, my show is on mental health. My show is on mental health. Everybody, knows that was going to be my question. How did that affect you mentally as a mom? And as his mother, and as your eldest son. Mm-hmm.
Yes. As his mother, it really broke me in half, because that wasn't the life that I had dreamed of my son having.
Of course.
I dreamed of him having, being this athlete, because he was a really great athlete, young athlete. He could have gone to college, and being a great athlete, may have gone to the pros. It shattered all his dreams.
Yeah.
But mentally it broke me down. It gave me a new lease on life. I had to also get treatment for myself, and to be able to keep myself sane, where I can be that leg for him still. And I have my children. One of my children was at Southern University in engineering. My second son, he stopped school. He said he's leaving. So he joined the military Air Force, and he's never been back. He comes to visit, but he don't come here.
Right.
And then my third son, it affected him a whole lot, even in his life today. He's still affected by it.
Right. I would imagine so, because that's big brother.
Yeah.
Right.
And my younger son, he was affected, by it some, but he was kind of like, the one that was trying to keep the glue, keep us together.
So I want to bring Simone into the fold of this interview. How did you and Simone get connected with each other, and how did she help you through this process, and how is she still helping you through this process?
Simone is a family friend, is like a sister to me, because she and my sister became friends. We all lived in the same neighborhood.
Right.
So we all knew one another. And so I used to talk to Simone, periodically, about different situations with this. And she said, "Well, hey," she said, we'll get together. So this particular day, she sent me a message, and she said, "Hey, you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she sent me a bunch of questions and things that I had to, send back to her.
Yes.
And so I really appreciate her and her team for wanting to, help me through this, and help me get some other leads to try to get him home, because I'm still working, and I don't never want to give up. And I say every day, God, keep me here where I can still fight this fight for my son. And I thank her and her team And now meeting you,
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to have met you and that were willing to hear the story.
Oh, anytime. Touch on Simone for a minute here. I consider Simone a big sister, and Simone has always been there when I needed her, even though I do give her a hard time sometimes. And when she presented the idea to me about doing an interview, I was kind of apprehensive, but I was like, you know what, this is what I do. I'm a voice for those who don't have one, and a lot of people don't get to tell their story,
Right.
and I'm really really glad I can be a vessel to you and to your family and to your son as well, which we'll bring him in on a second segment. But Simone, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've like she said, I've known Alma and her children. I've known Fred before he knew himself. His aunt and I have been friends for nearly 50 years, and as I told you, I forwarded you the case. So I went and researched it and I read through it, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what happened. And I just thought this was, I'm just anywhere that I can get her where I can maybe, you never know who will hear his story.
Yeah.
Somebody that can come forward and say, hey, I'm a part of this organization or this thing or this, that, I can do this for him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it. I only have one child. And, for her to be able to continue this fight, to see your child to be free, and no mother aspires to see their child dreams, their aspirations. What it's always for him to have the opportunity for him to live with shoulda, coulda, woulda, what my life could have been if this wasn't to happen. But also, I also want her to look at it this way too, and him too. Also, his story can also be heard, but also be a lesson for those that may be in a situation to where he was to make that decision. People that you should not interact with. As you say, as a mom, you tell them, and sometimes they don't listen,
Right.
but sometimes his journey may be something to keep someone else from having to have the same journey. But I'm very confident.
Yeah.
This is the time. This is his time for him to be able to walk out those doors. I'm very confident in it because, like I said, it's anybody would know that he should not be where he is today.
Hopefully, this show will help with that. 'Cause
Absolutely.
like you said, you wanted to spread a message, and I wanted to spread that message as well. So I want to kick it over to his wife. What are your thoughts about the case, and how did this affect you mentally, knowing that he could possibly be incarcerated for the rest of his life?
It presents its challenges,
Mhm.
but we are rooted deeply in God. We trust God in this situation, and we know that justice will prevail. He was wrongly convicted. He has been incarcerated for the past 21 years, but we have been working very diligently. I've been working aside his mother very diligently to bring everything surrounding the case to the light, because as Simone just spoke, he shouldn't be there.
Right.
It was clearly a setup, and it was clearly an unfair trial. So mentally, it is challenging.
Yes.
But we trust God.
As always, as we should. Give us a call, man. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson. Miss Grigsby, I want you to touch on briefly, because we're about to go to break, a little bit more details about the case and everything else that led up to him being incarcerated.
Okay. So we had gone through, I think, about 2 weeks of trial, and a lot of things were hidden from the attorney that he couldn't get his hands on, like what was it?
All right, so you know what? We got to go to break, all right? We got to put you on hold. We'll come back to that segment. I'm also going to bring your son on because he called in and said he wants to tell his side of things. We're going to get him on, okay?
Okay.
All right, man. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Remember, guys, if you want to catch me on the go, you can follow me on Facebook. Just search for The Ryan Richardson. Facebook page. And you can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. And we have Frederick Grigsby, Miss Grigsby's son, calling in after we come back from break. All right. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. See you in a second, New Orleans. Peace.
Twenty-five 17 Bayou Road is the place to be. 9 little kids cuisine and pastries.
Sunday nights just got hotter. DJ Wicked's live and I know Cajun cuisine for the throwback. Throw down! October 26th from 7 to 10. Old school hip hop and R&B. Good vibes and WBOK in the building. Don't miss it.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We are here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
Hey family, Ron Richardson here, host of Conversations with Ron Richardson. If you're looking for quality catering and barbecue, you need to contact my friends at Kuzan's Catering and Barbecue Team. Mr. Eddie Bunch and Kuzan's have been serving the West Bank since 2013 with their quality selection of barbecue and seafood. If you're looking for quality catering, be sure to contact Kuzan's Catering, located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero, or you can go to kuzansonline.com for more information for all the services that they offer, or call 504-233-4227. Catering done the right way just for you. That's Kuzan's, baby.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
Hey WBOK 1230 family, this is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 a.m.
WBOK, online at WBOK1230.com.
It's the place where we can be open and honest about real-life issues. You're listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK and online at WBOK1230.com.
Can you hear me now? All right. Welcome back. Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. We have Miss Elma Grigsby. We have Miss Simone Hickenbottom, and we have Miss Vanetta Lacey. Also on the line, we have my good brother, I would affectionately say he's the man of the hour right now, Mr. Frederick Grigsby. How are you, sir?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. Taking it one day at a time, that's all.
As you should, my brother. Welcome to the show. So I'm glad you called in, first of all, and I'm glad that you granted me the opportunity to talk about your case. This is a very, very
I
difficult
appreciate it.
situation. Yes. Um, so I want you to tell your side of things and how this whole situation went down and, got you in the place where you are currently.
Um, can you repeat that question again?
I want you to talk about, the situation at hand and how it currently got you in the place where you are and your thoughts.
Well, at the time of the incident, I was 18 years old. I had a 16-month-old son, fresh out of high school, getting ready to go to college to play football. And I was off into the music, rapping and stuff. So I had a concert to do that night. And I took my son upstairs to my mom and left the house, made it there to the VFW hall where the incident took place. And before I can even make it in, a lot of fights and stuff was going on. So the police had stopped, it was like everybody that want to stay, they can stay. Everybody that want to leave, they can leave. Like I had no idea, nothing bad was about to take place, or nobody was about to die or anything like that. And the person I rode to the concert with at the VFW hall, he had left, so I ended up getting in the vehicle with the other guys that I knew and I hung with. And we drove off, made a few turns, and ended up on the same street, with the deceased victim and the attempted murder victim. And we left there, went to another spot, and got dropped off. And the next day I get a call from my mom, like, the homicide detective's calling and want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So after that, I go down there, talk to him. Like I told him, I don't know them. I ain't had nothing to do with that. I was with somebody else the whole entire night or whatever. Right. And I went back to New Orleans where I was living at. And like a few days later, I was arrested for first-degree murder, first-degree attempt murder, illegal use of a weapon, and threatening witnesses. Charges that I ain't even, I don't have nothing to do with. I don't even know nothing about.
Right.
And I've been gone, for the past 21 years, still fighting my situation and trying to make it back out there to my family, and to my children, and to my wife.
I want to ask you, man. I want to take you back to that moment, and I want you to be as honest as possible, and I want you to be as open as you can. When you were going through the trial, and they asked you, or better yet, excuse me, the verdict came down. And it said guilty. How did that make you feel, knowing that you were not guilty?
To be honest, man, I was upset. Like I was upset. I was angry, frustrated, mad, because when the guilty verdict came down, I knew I wasn't going home to my family and to my son at the time. And I knew it was going to be a long fight. So the only thing I did was, I patted my chest and I made a muscle. And I told my mama, I say, I'm a man, and I got to be a man, and I got to be strong through this whole situation for y'all, no matter how long it takes. I know what I got to do.
Right. So how did that affect, and I'm gonna put you on pause for a minute because I want to kick it back to Ms. Grisby. What was that? What was the first few months like for you?
The first few months was like for me, I was so distraught. I couldn't go to work. I was off work about 5, maybe 6 months. I was seeing my counselor as regular as I can see her. I thank my mom and my sister for being that shoulder for me. And my oldest brother, he's deceased, but he also was, in that person who say, I know I can't tell you how to feel, but one day justice will prevail. So I carried that, and I still carry that, feeling of uncertainty, because of the way laws have been presented, new laws versus the old laws. And I just pray and I said, Lord, it's in your will. It's nothing I can do other than you keep me with the strength that I need to be able to keep enduring what I'm going through. And I just have to, sometime, before those weeks, I used to cry. And I never forget, he had the same shoes that he wore through his court. I sat in a chair for almost 6 months with those shoes on, because it was a part of him that I had was his shoes, because I couldn't fit his clothes. But
that's a mother's love.
Yes. And I just I beat myself up for a long, long time. I said, hey, what did you do wrong? How did this even happen? So he told me, he said, Mama, he said, don't you ever let anybody tell you you weren't a phenomenal mother nor a woman. You raised us. You gave us the best life that we can have. What happened to me? Unfortunately, it was out of your hands. He said, but just, I love you. And, just you stay strong for me. And I'm going to stay strong for you. And we going to fight.
So I want to ask both of you, Frederick.
Okay.
How is the relationship now with you and your mom? Do you feel you guys are, even though you're, currently where you are, do you feel that you guys are closer than ever before?
Man, our relationship solid as a rock. Like everything that we done been through, because she was young when she had me. I was young when I made my son. But this whole entire ordeal, these 21 years I spent in prison, has most definitely brought us even closer together. Like we like gorilla glue, some type of glue or magnetic force that can't be pulled apart.
Yeah, that's I like to touch on my mom also, man. My grandmother passed in 2017, and
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's been a struggle, but me and my mom, we pretty much the same way. We talk every day, and sometimes it takes a tragic situation to bring your people close together, and my mom tells me everything now. So it's good, even though circumstances are circumstances, my brother, that you have your mom and you have extended family like Simone,
right,
as a support system, because that's what this whole thing is about, man.
Most definitely
being supportive. And I want to touch on you, and we're going to talk about a little positivity here. Before this whole ordeal, what was life like for you? What were you involved in? What are some of the things that you did?
I was playing ball, basketball, football, baseball, and I ran track in high school. I was a star athlete at Capitol High in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And making music, like music was my getaway. Like that's how I would clear my mind. Like whatever it is I was going through, I would pick up the pen, grab my tablet and write, go to the studio, listen to beats, record music and stuff and do concerts. I was doing free concerts. That's just how much I love music.
Right.
And that's, that was my way to express myself.
So how did being incarcerated change you as a person?
Man, like I tell everybody that asks me that question, being incarcerated, it can either turn you into a monster or it can help you build a solid foundation with God. Look at your past mistakes and do everything you can in your willpower to change that and become a better person. But keep God first. Like, that's the most important thing. Me keeping God first and being raised in a family that, you know, was brought up in church. You know, I'm Muslim. I decided to, you know, to change my religion and my faith because of the knowledge and understanding of the Muslim religion itself.
How has that helped you, you know, through this whole ordeal?
The structure, the foundation, family oriented, and just learning that no matter what it is you do, if you don't keep God first and have a personal relationship with God, there's nothing that you can do. Nothing will be allowed to happen for you unless the devil doing it for you, and that's not the way you want it. So building that personal relationship with God and keeping God first and learning to be humble, diligent, and steadfast in whatever it is that you do. Like when I played ball, I would be the first one in the gym, the last one in the gym. When I played football, I'm the first one in the weight room, the last one in the weight room. And that's just how I looked at things since being in prison, how I did them when I was younger. And that is what helped motivate me and keep me going. You know, it hasn't been easy, but it's been good. Like, God blessing me, God, you know, using me, and He teaching me, showing me things. A lot of things that I didn't understand when I was younger, but as a 40-year-old man, I now understand. I now fully understand and comprehend.
504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson. I have Miss Alma Grigsby, Mr. Frederick Grigsby on the line, and Miss Simone Hickenbotham in studio, and also his wife, Vanetta Lacey. So I want to touch on this beautiful young lady that's in the studio with me, man. How did you guys end up connecting together?
You're asking me, or you're
Yeah,
asking?
I'm asking you.
Oh,
Bring your mic up a little bit so we can hear.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We actually, at the time that I met Frederick, my son was actually in Angola.
Mm-hmm.
He was serving a 2-year sentence in the reentry program. So on the very first day, because he was at another facility, on the very first day that Frederick came back is the day that we met. We met in the visiting shed.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of went from there.
Right.
You know, he piqued my interest, and we just started talking from there. But I saw some things in him. I look past the exterior. It's all about the interior.
Right.
And there were some things that I saw in him that I wanted to get to know him better.
So when you first heard the verdict, how did that affect you?
When I first heard, I didn't hear you.
When you first heard the verdict, the guilty verdict, how did it affect you?
We haven't been together that long.
Okay.
So I came into this with him being incarcerated. However, upon first meeting him, he told me about his case, and I did my own research. And instantly, from the beginning, it read setup. It read setup, unfair trial.
And that was going to be my next question to your mom, Miss Grigsby. What do you feel when you look at the case as a whole? What do you feel was mishandled? Do you feel that the evidence was mishandled? How about that whole situation?
Okay. The mishandling was that the DA office hid a lot of things. Mm-hmm. They pulled out a lot of information that could have freed Frederick and hid it. The attorney wasn't able to get the material that could have freed him. And I truly believe if he had pushed the issue a little bit more,
yes,
got a little bit tougher, the attorney, and say, you know, this man's fate is sitting in here, and I need this information. And he wasn't the pushy type, I don't think. Whereas the DA, I gotta say, yeah, but I even though I don't like to say it, want to say it, but he was the bulldog in there. So, of all the wrong things, and if we could have had this material before now, he wouldn't be there. Conflicting stories, lies, all that was hidden. Now we have it, but I had to pay dearly for it. But I have it.
So my question to you is, why is it taking so long? If everything is laid out on the table now and it took you all this time to get it, okay, why can't they just say, we reviewed it, looked over it, everything looks and sounds correct? Why can't they just do what they need to do to release it?
Of it, God has his own personal time that he does things in your life for you. So it may not have been the timing that he wanted to have this presented to be able to free him, because he wanted him to work on himself to become the man that he know that he could be. So that's why my thinking of having it is timing. So I said better late than never. These 21 years, yes, it has been a long time for me to money wise, I've spent money, and it's just hard, but I managed to do it because like I said, I stay on my knees. I say, God, I depend on you. You told me these words, and if it wasn't true, you wouldn't have written it. Right. So I'm dependent on you for that next meal or that next dollar to be able to provide for him. And he's been leading me and guiding me through it all. And I really give thanks to him for that.
Wow. I'm really speechless because this is almost like a no-win situation, but you're still in the fight. Most families would have, given up a long time ago, but obviously you haven't.
I can't because I'm not a give-up person.
Right.
Even with my own life, I've gone through other trauma that could have destroyed me. But because of God and that I serve him, he has kept me. So, and I ask him from day to day, keep me in my right mind where I can be able to think and to be able to move and to, just serve you. And, you're going to take care of me. And that's all I know to do.
Simone, thoughts?
Well, I've had a similar, not to the extent of, and I understand where she is as far as, being able to deal with this. I have a brother that did 10 years not in a state institution, but on the federal level.
Right.
So you don't give up, and I firmly tell you, you can hold on for stuff, and that's her why. Even me back when I left my abusive marriage, my daughter was my why. So he's her why, and that's what keeps her going. And as far as I think, when you asked her the question prior to that, why, she has this evidence now. It's now just getting somebody to hear. You still have to get the court to listen. You have to get somebody to pick it back up and listen and to review it. And that's a journey all within itself. That's a job to get that, get them to the next. That's also admitting too that we were wrong. Somebody didn't do their job. Somebody didn't go the extra mile. Somebody didn't do what needed to be done. And oftentimes, they look at conviction rate. We have to have this rate of convictions in order for me. And in our city, the DA, that's an elected position. That's not an appointed position. That's elected. So all that kind of stuff plays into convictions and conviction rates and things like that. So her battle now is to get him heard.
All right, man. We got to go to our second break. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. We got a lot more we got to talk about, man. We got a full house today, and we hope that we can help you get through this situation by letting your story be heard. All right. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson live on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. See you in a sec. Peace.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets. We've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow WBOK 1230 now.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We're here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Ron Richardson here. If you are like me, that means you love the feeling of getting a fresh haircut and shave. If you do, then you should check out my friends Eddie and Dana Bunch at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, specializing in hairstyles for men, women, and children. If you want to make a good first impression, you should check out First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero or call 504-341-6777. Remember, it's never too late to make that first impression at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
Hey WBOK 1230 family, this is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 a.m.
WBOK. Listen now on WBOK1230.com.
Thanks for listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK, and listen online at WBOK1230.com. Now, back to Ron.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Remember, guys, if you want to catch us on the go, you can catch us or catch me on the go. Catch me on the go. Just search for the Ron Richardson Facebook page and Instagram at Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. You can find out everything that's going on in my life, the world of radio, and what me and my beloved dog Queen do at home. But nonetheless, I would like to welcome back Miss Alma Grigsby, Miss Simone Hickenbottom, and Frederick's wife, Miss Vanetta Lacey. How are you ladies doing? Hello? Y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, Miss Vanetta, you brought up an interesting point during the break. I wanted you to touch on that.
So one of the reasons why it has taken a while with the case, there has been a change in attorneys, and the most recent attorney that was hired to represent Frederick The attorney was deceased. He became deceased. His firm did not notify him, did not give him the opportunity to even select another attorney. And that has been since the attorney became deceased in 22. The first contact, the early part of 22, the first contact was not made with Frederick until the end of 22, the first of 23. Since then, there has been hardly any work done on his case by his attorney. A lot of the work that has been done has been by Frederick himself, and since we've been together, I have been assisting him with working on his case.
I want to ask Frederick. Frederick, you still with me?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right. Has anybody come to your aid? Has anybody come to you with any information to help you through this?
No, like I just been doing everything on my own. Spending time, hours, days, months, years, just researching, learning the law, learning how to litigate, and nobody has came forward with any help until I met Vanetta. My mom was doing what she could do. Yeah. Me teaching her, what I know and trying to get her to comprehend and understand how it goes. And when I met Vanetta, it's like that was the icing on the cake right there. That was like everything that I prayed for. God brought me what I needed, not what I wanted.
So what?
And He gave me Vanetta.
What have you learned yourself going through your own about the law and how things work?
The law is very complex. It's hard, but it's not hard, and it takes learning the rules and procedures first, then the Constitution, then learning how to research cases and take your notes, and then litigating, which is putting everything together to be filed into the court. And it hasn't been easy. Like I started when I was in the parish, when I first fell on this charge. I started in our parish, and we had like going to the law library like on a twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So on those Tuesdays and Thursdays for those almost 3 years I was in the parish, that's what I spent my time doing, going to the law library, learning as much as I could before my trial. And
I want to ask all of you a question, and I'm gonna leave this up to you, Mom, and the rest of the ladies in the studio. Do you guys feel that racism was or is a fact, and how so?
Yes, race played a big part because you can take a case in Baton Rouge. You can take a case. Someone can have a similar case. A white Caucasian can have a similar case as a black individual. That Caucasian will get less time than they would give the black person. So we're still, and it's politics too. So we're still experiencing oppression with the racism in different things. And how do you overcome it? In the state of Louisiana that we're in, I don't think it'll ever be overcome, but we have to keep fighting for the right thing, to get the right laws passed, to be able to help not just black, I'm talking about the Caucasians, the Latinos, everybody that you can help. Young, old, because, a lot of people who have grown up in the judicial system, and my son is one of them. So my question would be to the politicians, how do you sit back and continue to allow racism in your state? When does it end?
Simone, what are your thoughts?
I agree with her. Race plays a big key. Economic, backgrounds. In our city, especially, Baton Rouge, and we don't have a laudable representation, of especially, judges, DA, even law enforcement. We just don't have it. And then another thing, we are not educated either. As us as a people, we are not educated enough about our children when they fall into the judicial system, regardless of, they're either innocent or guilty. We don't know enough. We don't know enough about it, and that's another thing we need to start doing: educating our children about their rights. When you are brought in for questioning, they should know how to answer, and not to say to be deceitful, but sometimes understanding the way that they're questioned. Those questions can be turned around and used against them, and in actuality, being innocent. Think about a young Fred Grigsby, 18 years old. What did he know about being questioned, even though he was an adult? Being questioned, and I don't know if he was questioned 9 times out of 10 without legal representation.
All right, so you know what? This is going to have to be a part 2 because we came to the end of the show, all right? All right, Frederick, my brother, very quickly, any words of encouragement to anybody out there listening to this? Quickly.
Take your time. If you have loved ones that's incarcerated, take your time to listen to them, because when it comes down to the law, it's hard. It's hard on us, but it's even harder on y'all. So just take y'all time with them.
All right,
be
my brother.
patient.
All the best to you, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Grigsby, quickly, words of encouragement.
Families, stick by your loved ones. Go see them. Get the phone, where they can call you on the phone. Send them a letter. Keep them encouraged and let them know that you love them and you want, you're there for them, because they need that. It's hard being incarcerated.
All right. So I want to wish you all the best. And once again, your son, I want to wish him all the best as well. And I want to help you get through this, all right?
Yes.
All right. Guys, it's been another great show. See you guys next week, same time, same place. This has been Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. See you next week.